और प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णविंद की जय। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mishra. Hare Krishna. So we'll start today with 1.8.31. Start today. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmolitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Vipakaravayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta पदकमलं श्रीगुरुर्वैष्णव श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सागरं रघुनाथम् अन्वितं तं साजीवं साधुवेतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदार्थ साधना ललिता शिव शाखा अन्वितं च श्री ललिता शिव शाखा अन्वितं च पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण कृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांता स्वामी नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारि निर्विशेष महाग्रह श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Thank you, Mataji, for joining in. Yes, I will just share my. Mataji, can you hear? Can you hear? Can you?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
I'm just trying to see where's the share screen so that I can share. Okay, this is screen. Okay. This is great. So we will start with Nishta. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Prabhu, I can.
So we'll start with 1.8.31, where Kunti is praying to Lord Shri Krishna. So I will read the shloka, and then Nishta, can you read the translation and the word and the synonyms?
Sure, Prabhu, sure.
गोपे अधारे तव्ये कर्तगसि दामा तव त्वत् या ते दासा अश्रुकलिला अंजना संभ्रमा अक्षम वक्त्रम निनीया भया भावनया स्थिता आस्या सा मां विमोहयाति अपि यत् भूति। Gopi, the cowherd lady, Adare, Putta, on your Kartagasi, creating disturbance by breaking the butterfly. Rama wrote, but all at that time, yeah, that which they your Dasa situation, Ashru Kalila, overflooded with tears, Anjana, ointment, Sambarama, perturbed, Aksham, eyes, Vaktaram, face, Niniya, downwards. Bhaya Bhavanaya by thoughts of fear, status of the situation. Sa that Mam may Vimohayati bewilders, Bhi api even fear personified, Yat Vedi is Mishnah. Can you read the translation and the purport?
Yes, sure. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. My dear Krishna, Yashoda took up a rope to bind you when you committed an offense, and your polluted eyes overflooded with tears, which washed the mascara from your eyes, and you were afraid. Though fear personified is afraid of you, this sight is bewildering to me, sorry. Purport. Here is another explanation of the bewilderment created by the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is the supreme in all circumstances, as already explained. Here is a specific example of the Lord being the supreme and at the same time a plaything in the presence of his pure devotee. The Lord's pure devotee renders service unto the Lord out of unalloyed love only. And while discharging such devotional service, the pure devotee forgets the position of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord also accepts the loving service of his devotee more relishably when the service is rendered spontaneously out of pure affection, without anything of reverential admiration. Generally, the Lord is worshipped by the devotee in a reverential attitude, but the Lord is meticulously pleased when the devotee, out of full affection and love, considers the Lord to be less important than himself. The Lord pastimes in the original abode of Golok Vrindavan are exchanged in that spirit. The friends of Krishna consider him one of them. They don't consider him to be of reverential importance. The parents of the Lord, who are all pure devotees, consider him a child only. The Lord accepts the chastisements of the parents more cheerfully than the prayers of the Vedic hymns. Similarly, he accepts the reproaches of his fiancés more perturbably than the Vedic hymns. When Lord Krishna was present in this material world to manifest his eternal pastimes of the transcendental rim of Golok Vrindavan as an attraction for the people in general, he displayed a unique picture of subordination before his foster mother, Yashoda. The Lord, in his naturally childish, playful activities, used to spoil the stocked butter of Mother Yashoda by breaking the pots and distributing the contents to his friends and playmates, included the celebrated monkeys of Vrindavan, who took advantage of the Lord munificence. Mother Yashoda saw this, and out of her pure love, she wanted to make a show of punishment for her transcendental child. She took a rope and threatened the Lord that she would tie him up, as is generally done in the ordinary household. Seeing the rope in the hands of Mother Yashoda, the Lord bowed down his head and began to weep, just like a child, and tears rolled down his cheeks, washing off the black ointment smeared around about his beautiful eyes. This picture of the Lord is adored by Kunti Devi because she is conscious of the Lord's supreme position. He is feared often by fear personified, yet he is afraid of his mother, who wanted to punish him just in an ordinary manner. Kunti was conscious of the exalted position of Krishna, whereas Yashoda was not. Therefore, Yashoda's position was more exalted than Kunti's. Mother Yashoda got the Lord as her child, and the Lord made her forget altogether that her child was the Lord himself. If Mother Yashoda had been conscious of the exalted position of the Lord, she would certainly have hesitated to punish the Lord, but she was made to forget the situation because the Lord wanted to make a complete gesture of childishness before the affectionate Yashoda. This exchange of love between the mother and the son was performed in a natural way, and Kunti, remembering the scene, was bewildered, and she could do nothing but praise the transcendental filial love. Indirectly, Mother Yashoda is praised for her unique position of love, for she could control even the all-powerful Lord as her beloved child.
Thank you, Rosna. So here we can see the loving exchange between a devotee and the God. It is also written, अगर आप भगवद गीता पढ़ेंगे और उसमें पाएंगे कि भगवान खुद ही बोलते हैं कि खुद ही कह रहे हैं कि वो सबसे ज्यादा प्यारे हैं जो मेरे को हमेशा फॉर देम आई एम द ओनली थिंग विच इज ऑलवेज occupies their mind. So यहाँ पे जो रसा है वो प्यार का है, और इसमें भगवान के साथ अगर आप देखेंगे यहाँ पे लिखा भी है कि भगवान जो है भगवान सबऑर्डिनेट पोजीशन भी कंसिडर करते हैं अगर इफ देयर इज लव एंड अफेक्शन फ्रॉम हिज डिवोटी. सो अगर हम जाएंगे प्रहलाद महाराज में, तो प्रहलाद महाराज के लिए भगवान खुद वैकुंठ से यहाँ भगवान खुद वैकुंठ से चल के आए सिर्फ उनको बचाने. तो आप देख सकते हैं कि जो लव है एक गॉड भगवान का और उनके डिवोटीज का उनके बीच में कितना गहरा, और यही जो लव है इसके बारे में बताया गया. We'll go to the next verse. What's next? थोड़ा इंटरनेट का प्रॉब्लम है. Is 1.8.32. केचित् आहुर अजम जतम पुण्याश्लोकस्य पीताय यदः प्रियस अस्वनयाय मलयाय सेवा मस्याय सेवा pandam panan आम. Kachit someone ahur says ajam, unborn, jajatam, being born, punya shlokasya of the great pious king, kirtaya for glorified, yadho of King Yadu, priyasya of the deer, anvaye in the family of Malayasya, Malaya hills, Eva as Kandanam sandal. Translation. Yes, Anupama Mataji, you want to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Translation. Some say that the unborn is born for the glorification of pious kings, and others says that he is born to please King Yadu, one of your dearest devotees. You appear in his family as sandalwood appears in the Malaya hills. Purport. Because the Lord's appearance in this material world is bewildering, there are different opinions about the birth of the unborn. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that he takes his birth in the material world, although he is Lord of all creations and he is unborn. So there cannot be any denial of the birth of the unborn, because he himself establishes the truth. But still, there are different opinions as to why he takes his birth. That is also declared in the Bhagavad Gita. He appears by his own internal potency to re-establish the principles of religion and to protect the pious and to annihilate the impious. That is the mission of the appearance of the unborn. Still, it is said that the Lord is there to glorify the pious king Yudhishthira. Lord Shri Krishna certainly wanted to establish the kingdom of the Pandavas for the good of all in the world. When there is a pious king ruling over the world, the people are happy. When the ruler is impious, the people are unhappy. In the age of Kali, in most cases, the rulers are impious, and therefore the citizens are also continuously unhappy. But in the case of democracy, the impious citizens themselves elect their representative to rule over them, and therefore they cannot blame anyone for their unhappiness. Maharaj Nala was also celebrated as a great pious king, but he had no connection with Lord Krishna. Therefore, Maharaj Yudhishthira is meant here to be glorified by Lord Krishna. The Lord has already glorified King Yadu, having taken birth in his family. Although he is known as Yadava, Yaduvira, Yadunandan, etc., he is always independent of such obligation. He is just like the sandalwood that grows in the Malya hills. Trees can grow anywhere and everywhere. Yet, because the sandalwood trees grows mostly in the area of Malya Hills, and the name sandalwood and the Malya Hills are interrelated. Therefore, the conclusion is that Lord is ever unborn like the sun, and yet he appears as the sun rises on the eastern horizon. As the sun is never the sun of the eastern horizon, so the Lord is no one's son, but he is the father of everything that be.
Thank you, Mataji. So here we can see that यहाँ पे भगवान खुद कपट में भगवान जब बॉर्न होते हैं तो इसमें लिखा है जैसे बॉर्न होते हैं जैसे सनराइज होता है और सन किसी ईस्टर्न होराइजन का या किसी वेस्टर्न होराइजन का नहीं होता. सन इज द सन. सो ऐसी लॉर्ड जो है वो किसी के फादर, वो सबके ही फादर, किसी एक पर्टिकुलर के किसी के फादर, एंड ही इज द फादर ऑफ, ही इज द सीड गिविंग फादर ऑफ ऑल द जीवात्मा. जितने भी जीवात्मा हैं उनके वो फादर. और भगवान भगवद गीता में लिखते भी हैं कि मेरा 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 जो एक्टिविटीज है, बॉर्न होने की एक्टिविटीज है वो दिव्यम. अगर आप इफ यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड दैट एक्टिविटीज ओनली, तो आपको यू डोंट हैव टू टेक द बर्थ इन दिस. सो भगवान की भगवान का जो बर्थ है वो इतना पायस है, इतना ट्रांसीडेंटल है, दैट इफ यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड दैट वी विल नॉट बी एबल टू दिस टेक बर्थ इन दिस जॉयलेस. सेकेंड, इधर भगवान आते क्यों हैं, ये भी प्रभुपाद जी ने भी बताया कि भगवान आते क्यों हैं. भगवान आते हैं टू रीस्टैब्लिश द प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ रिलीजन एंड टू प्रोटेक्ट द पाइंस. ही वांट्स टू प्रोटेक्ट द पाइंस and to annihilate the impurities. That is why the God takes birth on this material, in this material. Thank you. Go to the next text. Hare Krishna. One point 8.3. अपारे वसुदेवाय देवस्य देवकं यचितो भयागं जस्त्वं अस्य कश्मीरां वधा वाद्या च सुराभिषं. By others, Vasudevasya of Vasudeva, Devakyam of Devaki, Yachitaha being prayed for, Abhega took birth, Ajaha unborn, Tvam you are, Asya of him, Kisimaya for the good, Vadya for the purpose of killing, Cha and Suradvisa of those who are envious of the demigods. Mataji, Anupa Sani Mataji, can you read?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Translation. Others say that since both Vasudev and Devaki prayed for you, you have taken your birth as their son. Undoubtedly, you are unborn, yet you take your birth for their welfare and to kill those who are envious of the demigod. Purpose. It is also said that Vasudev and Devaki in their previous birth as Sutapa and Krishna underwent a severe type of penance to get the Lord as their son, and as a result of such austerities, the Lord appeared as their son. It is already declared in the Bhagavad Gita that the Lord appears for the welfare of all people of the world and to vanquish the asuras or the materialistic atheists.
Thank you, Mama. So again here it is said that भगवान जो आते हैं वो जो असुरास या जो मटेरियल एथीस्ट होते हैं, जो मटेरियलिस्टिक पीपल होते हैं, उनको उनको वैंकुश उनको बेसिकली उनको वैंकुश करने आते हैं और वेलफेयर के लिए आते हैं और अपने डिवोटीज को और अपने डिवोटीज के पास डिवोटीज के साथ he wants to have the pastime with the devotees like Prahlad Maharaj, Bali Maharaj. So one slave is take birth करते हैं, he takes birth on this earth. So that is the main reason, because he wants to have a loving relationship with his devotees, and that is one of the main reasons. Even if you can see here also, Vasudeva and Devaki, both of them prayed and to get the Lord as their son. So for their devotees, he again comes and gives the association. That is the. So let's go to the next text. 1.8.3. भरा अवतरण इवो धरायु सिद्धांत्या भूरि भरेगा जतो हम आत्मा वर भरा अवतरण means just to reduce the burden to the world. अन्य others even of the world both even like value on the sea. Siddhantya agreed to be extremely arena by the burden. Jataha you were born in certainly. Atma Bhuva by Brahma. Arthitam being prayed for. Anupa Sani Mataji, can you continue?
Yes, yes. Translation. Others say that the world, being overburdened like a boat at sea, is much aggrieved, and that Brahma, who is your son, prayed for you, and so you have appeared to diminish the trouble. Purport. Brahma, or the first living being born just after the creation, is the direct son of Narayan. Narayan, as Garbhodakshai Vishnu, first of all entered the material universe. Without spiritual contact, matter cannot create. This principle was followed from the very beginning of the creation. The Supreme Spirit entered the universe, and the first living being, Brahma, was born on a lotus flower grown out of the transcendental abdomen of Vishnu. Vishnu is therefore known as Padmanabha. Brahma is known as Atmabhu because he was begotten directly from the father without any contact of mother Lakshmiji. Lakshmiji was present near Narayan, engaged in the service of the Lord, and still, without contact with Lakshmiji, Narayan begot Brahma. That is the omnipotency of the Lord. One who foolishly considers Narayan like other living beings should take a lesson from this. Narayan is not only ordinary living being, he is the personality of Godhead himself, and he has all the potencies of all the senses in all parts of his transcendental body. An ordinary living being begets a child by sexual intercourse, and he has no other means to beget a child other than the one designed for him. But Narayan, being omnipotent, is not bound to any condition of energy. He is complete and independent to do anything and everything by his various potencies, very easily and perfectly. Brahma is therefore directly the the son of the father and was not put into the womb of a mother. Therefore, he is known as Atmabhu. This Brahma is in charge of further creation in the universe. Secondarily, reflected by the potency of the omnipotent, within the halo of the universe, there is a transcendental planet known as Shweta Dvipa, which is the abode of Shirodakshai Vishnu, the Paramatma feature of the Supreme Lord. Whenever there is trouble in the universe that cannot be solved by the administrative demigod, they approach Brahmaji for a solution. And if it is not to be solved even by Brahmaji, then Brahmaji consults and prays to the Shirodakshai Vishnu for an incarnation and solution to the problem. Such a problem arose when Kamsa and others were ruling over the earth, and the earth became too much overburdened by the misdeeds of the Asuras. Brahmaji, along with other demigods, prayed at the shore of the Shirodaka ocean, and they were advised of the descent of Krishna as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. So some people say that the Lord appeared because of the prayers of Brahmaji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So here, if you see, यहाँ पे there are two things that are said. First is that God comes after when the Brahmaji has prayed. So first, the Brahmaji has prayed for his devotee, as I said, God comes, and he prayed because the problems at the material planet was not being solved. When it is written that when Kans and others were ruling over the earth, and the earth becomes too much overburdened by the misdeeds of Ashtar. So and to kill the atheists and the asuras, God. Now here, one thing more is also talked about is that how Brahmaji is born. So if you see the first line, it is written without spiritual contact, matter cannot create. So what it means that all the matter that you see on this planet Earth, even from if you will see from Earth, from water, fire, everything which is there or any material contact, it cannot be created. The source has to be come from without a spiritual contact, matter. And then you can also see that Brahmaji was born on a lotus flower grown out of the transcendental abdomen of Vishnu. Okay. And he is born from a Garbhodakshay Vishnu. So how Brahmaji was born, it is also said, and since Brahmaji is the first uh, is the first uh, is the first living being on the planet Earth, and therefore he was born any uh, without any uh, without any the contact of Mother Lakshmi. So here how the Brahmaji was born, it is also mentioned, and the other part which is very important is that why the God is coming just to please his devotees, which is the main reason why God appears on this. And then, and it also, he wants to kill the impious people or the asuras. Can go to the next text. One point 8.35. Have asmin kilis amumyam avidya kama karambudu sarvanam smaran arihanu Karishan iti ichna. However, in this material creation, asmin, this yamanam of those who are suffering from avidya, desires, kama, desire, karma, by the execution of fruited work, sarvana, hearing, smaran, remembering, arhani, worship. Karishan, may perform, iti, thus, ichna, Hare Krishna. Anupa Mataji, can you read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Translation. And yet others say that you appeared for the sake of rejuvenating the devotional service of hearing, remembering, worshipping, and so on, in order that the conditioned soul suffering from material pangs might take advantage and gain liberation. Purport. In the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the Lord asserts that he appears in every millennium just to re-establish the way of religion. The way of religion is made by the Supreme Lord. No one can manufacture a new path of religion, as is the fashion for certain ambitious persons. The factual way of religion is to accept the Lord as the supreme authority and thus render service unto him in spontaneous love. A living being cannot help but render service because he is constitutionally made for that purpose. The only function of the living being is to render service to the Lord. The Lord is great and living beings are subordinate to him. Therefore, the duty of the living being is just to serve him only. Unfortunately, the illusion living beings, out of misunderstanding only, become servants of the senses by material desire. The desire is called avidya or nescience, and out of such desire, the living beings make different plans for material enjoyment centered about a perverted sex life. He therefore becomes entangled in the chain of birth and death by transmigrating into different bodies on different planets under the direction of the Supreme Lord. Unless therefore one is beyond the boundary of this nescience, one cannot get free from the threefold miseries of material life. This is the law of nature. The Lord, however, out of his causeless mercy, because he is more merciful to the suffering living beings than they can expect, appears before them and renovates the principles of devotional service comprised of hearing, chanting, remembering, serving, worshipping, praying, cooperating, and surrendering unto him. Adoption of all the above mentioned items or any one of them can help a conditioned soul get out of the tangle of nescience and thus become liberated from all material suffering created by the living being, illusion by the external energy. This particular type of mercy is bestowed upon the living being by the Lord in the form of Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. So, such a nice translation by Prabhupada. We can see that, like for example, I was reading today's Brahmaji's life. So, Brahma ji के एक दिन में his one day is around 8.64 billion years. Billion years means like it's I think 800 crores years. That is the understanding, or 80 crores. So at this मतलब इतनी बार इतने साल होते हैं, और ये सालों में जो भी जीवात्मा जो आई हैं, सोल्स आई हैं, we all get illusion by the material only. And when we get illusion, so there are two things that happen. One is the desire, and the uh, other is the dvesha, which is called other is envy. So because of this illusion, we are always trying to enjoy our senses. For example, even in our lives also, we can say that most of the time, most of the people also, and including me also, that we are around money, or many times we are running around money, we are running around, satisfying family, satisfying people, but that will lead us to over. So इसलिए भगवान जो है खुद आते हैं and to reestablish the religion, law of religion. And in Bhagavad Gita also, भगवान अगर आप पाएंगे कि भगवान गीता में भी भगवान ये कहते हैं कि every millennium I come to reestablish the way of religion. You can see this line in Bhagavad Gita. It is specifically written that he comes in every millennium, and uh, and just to give and because he is very merciful, he wants us to come back to him. He wants us to come back to his word which is misery free, because this word is joyless. There is only misery over there. And it is said in Bhagavad Gita is also that it is a joyless word. यहाँ पे आप खुशी नहीं पा सकते, होगी भी तो वो टेम्पररी होगी या इल्यूजन होगी, थोड़े दिन में वो या दुख में हो जाएगा. बट अगर आप डिवोटी हैं, आप भगवान के भक्त हैं, तो देन ओनली you can pass, or you can overcome the three modes of material nature, which is passion, which is ignorance, and which is ignorance. तो यहाँ पे कहते हैं, एंड अगर आप देखेंगे तो भगवान आते हैं ताकि वो प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ डिवोशनल सर्विस फिर से स्टैब्लिश हो सके, लाइक हियरिंग, चैंटिंग, रिमेम्बरिंग, सर्विंग, वर्शिपिंग, प्रेइंग, and the same type of mercy is bestowed upon the living by the Lord in the form of Lord Shri Chaitanya. भगवान खुद आए और उन्हें बताया कि हमें कैसे वो हम उनको we can establish a original and the perfect relationship with God, that is to serve Him and to love, and that is through the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Thank you, Mataji, thank you, thank you everyone for coming. And just end the session. Pancha Tantra Tupo Sya, Tupa Sandhu Mahesya, Patitra Nam Pavne Kyo, Vaishnav Kyo, Madhura Srila Bhagavatam, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.